Hello and welcome back to the second installation of the MYOB AccountRight web version videos. Before we go on, I'd like to make some disclaimers. I don't work for MYOB. I am a MYOB certified consultant, which means I train every year to actually maintain that certification. I have my own company, Lakeview Consulting Proprietary Limited, trading as Lakeview Accounting Solutions. So I work in the consulting space, and I'm also a BAS agent and bookkeeper. This video has been made with TechSmith Camtasia. They don't sponsor this video. I am a reseller, but I've used their products for many years to produce videos and also training documentation using their Snagit product. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about MYOB AccountRight sales in the web version. So let's go and have a look at it. Okay, so we're back at the dashboard, and with the new transactions, there are a number of things you can actually launch from the dashboard. And so before we get stuck into the sales area here, let's have a look what you can do apart from the areas that we discussed in the first video. So right at the top on the right hand side, you'll see a little plus button. If you hover over it, you'll see create new. That allows you to enter quotes, invoices, bills, spend money, and various other things. So you can actually launch all those areas from that plus button if you want to add new transactions. On the dashboard itself, we've obviously only have sales and purchases. So next to each of those, you'll see a little hyperlink that says create invoice. So you can create it there, or you can create it from there. The other area where you can launch transactions is from the functional areas across the top here. So as we're looking at sales, we can actually click on the sales menu and launch various functions from there. So if we want to create an invoice, we can do it from here. Invoices will show you a list of invoices already processed. Creating a quote, if you click on quotes, it'll give you a list of quotes that's already there, and so forth. So to create a sales invoices, so let's just use the option here in the middle of the dashboard, and up comes the data entry screen for the sales invoice. Now before we do that, let's just have a quick look at what the template looks like. Although you can actually use the existing templates that are in the MYOB desktop version, the web version actually has a nice looking template that you can use as well. So let's go and have a quick look at it before we create an invoice. So on the right hand side, under your business name, you'll have various settings. Now what we need to look at is the sales settings. And you'll notice that the layout that we're using is services and items. We can just use services. As you know from the previous video, we can't do professional, time billing and miscellaneous layouts. So these are the only layouts you can use at the moment. And when we're talking about items, just to reiterate what we said in the first video, MYOB AccountRight web version does not have the inventory management component yet. So if you're using inventory management, you need to continue using the desktop version. So you can make sales and purchases with items in the web, but it doesn't manage your perpetual inventory balances. So this test company is using services and items. So that's the layout, and if we look at the templates, I haven't created any new ones, so let's have a look at the standard one. I did actually create a small logo, but essentially that's what it looks like if you have an item service layout. So you can still use items, but as I said, they won't manage your inventory in the balance sheet. So that's basically what it looks like. Now you can change your header styles, and you can add logos. You can position your address. If you're using envelopes, you can actually click on this and it inserts it, and so it fits nicely into an envelope window. Most people would be probably using the online invoices now, but for those that do, they can turn this on. I prefer to turn it off because I'm already using online invoices. The text color, you can change that. If you know what your branding is and you have a hex code, you can actually change the color of your feature areas. So that could be the line there just below the header. It could be your text in the header there. So any of those sort of branding type colors, if you know what the code is, you can enter them in there, or just choose the color by clicking on the color picker. If you were to for example wanted to have a color based on something else, you might want to say, okay, let's click the color picker there and let's move over. Let's say we want to have it like that green. So if you click on that, it picks up that same color green that's on that button. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to change it back to where it was, and I'll make it like that. I don't think it was quite like that, but actually that looks now just the same color as the logo. So, and then you just save it. Okay. So going back to the dashboard, let's go back and create an invoice, and let's say Plumber Jim, and we're going to sell him, say, let's make it 20 widgets of widget 3s. So he's got a bill of $512. Again, you've got that tax inclusive or tax exclusive function there, same as in the desktop version. The reason this is a hyperlink here is because this is a sample company and we haven't set up payments online. So that basically prompts you to set it up if you wanted to do that. It would then give you the option to pay by Visa, MasterCard, or BPay, or EFT if you wanted people to pay by EFT. Down the bottom, you'll see notes to customers. Now it comes up with a bunch of standard sort of notes. You can make up your own by simply typing in here. Let's say, okay, it's we appreciate your business, or you might have some sort of instruction like the one that we saw there, pick up ASAP, for example. So that's pretty similar to what you can do in the desktop version, obviously. So down the bottom, we can either save this and get out of that screen and go back to the dashboard or elsewhere, or you can actually choose the next one next to it, save and create new. If you had a whole bunch of sales invoices you wanted to raise, you could do that. And apart from that, you would then save it, and you could then view the invoice. And obviously, because we haven't customized this template, that hyperlink comes there as well. If you had it customized, you would choose from the drop down and pick that customized invoice template. Again, we haven't set up the payment, so that's also a hyperlink if you wanted to set that up on the fly. And then you just simply export, and as you can see, there's the invoice as the customer would see it. Now obviously, if you had the payments turned on, you would see the payment details down here. You'd have the Visa, MasterCard, BPay details in there, or EFT, as the case may be. And of course, you can then email the customer. And again, if you didn't have the payments turned on, you could select the direct deposits. You put your bank details in here, or you could put your address in there, or you would set up the online payment. So when the customer sees your invoice, they would see a button on the invoice online saying "Pay Now," and they would put their credit card details in there to pay the invoice. So that's essentially it in the sales area. As I said, you can't do time billing on here yet, but you can use sales for service layouts or service item layouts. Talking about that, if you look under the sales, there's a menu there to add items, and you'll also see this in the purchasing area. And if you open up one that I set up, you could tick the sales area, you could tick the buying area and put those costs in. But as I said, it doesn't manage your stock control in the balance sheet, so you can only sell them and buy them, and that's about it. Having said that, they are building the inventory module over the next few quarters, so by the end of this year, I would suspect that that a lot more functionality that you currently enjoy in the desktop version will be available on the browser version. So let's get out of that. So obviously you can create payments. So if we go in and create an invoice payment, you could let's say I pick Plumber Jim, and I've just raised this one today, so let's say he paid the previous one, so I could put a description in here saying payment of invoice 7, and yeah, what this hasn't got is a little checkbox next to it, so it'd be nice to just say tick, and it'd just select that and put the amount in, but unfortunately it hasn't been set up that way. So at the moment you're going to have to put in the values. So this is a bit of a workflow problem that I can see, and I've mentioned this to my colleagues at MYOB, and I'm sure that that's something they will consider in the future releases. But yeah, that's something you need to do. Obviously, if you had a part payment of an invoice, you would have to key the amount in anyway, but it's not like the desktop where if you had to match a a payment from the bank feeds, for example, you would just tick the box and it'd put whatever the payment is against that invoice in here. But at the moment you're going to have to key that in manually. So I can hit save there, and that's basically it there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. So I hope to see you again in the next installment when we look at purchasing in MYOB AccountRight web version. See you then.